Yo, what up? Good morning, GMG. Thursday, July 11th, 2020. Look at that. Another beautiful day to have a beautiful day. I got my co-hosts in the house, Tyler, Mando. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. The weather's shit. I'm doing good. Tyler, how you doing?
Weather's not great, but it's green morning. So wearing green. It's a soft green morning. Got some good inflation news, perhaps. So we'll see how things respond.
We in the midst of what is it? Where it's so over. I found that we are so back. What does that mean? That shit's looking good. You left to see, aside from Germany, as soon as we hit like 60K, decided to just dump their Bitcoin again. It's so funny.
Hilarious.
I'm actually wondering how the war room is over there right now. That's like in charge of. Do you guys think it's like what do you guys think? Do you think it's like 7 people in the room like figuring it out, like T-Wapping and shit? Like, oh, let's send to Coinbase and 17 other exchanges. It's like one person in charge of that. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think it's like it's official, right? It's like official German funds. Like, what do we think? I'm so curious about that.
Yeah, I think it's just like one person who's just clicking the sell button.
Is it?
They've been ordered to sell this amount in a certain time.
Yeah, right.
Just trying to find ways to
You will sell it all. You will sell it all, but not in one clip. You're gonna send it to like 12 exchanges and take your time.
Yeah.
And then he saw CPI this one, was like, hurry up. The Americans got good inflation numbers. Hurry up. Achtung! You must sell it. Fucking screaming at the guy, like, oh my God. Anyways, today on the show, today, market report. We'll talk CPIs and all good stuff. Good numbers. Listen, we're looking good. One thing's for sure, we're not looking bad. Okay. And you'd love to see that with nice bounce across the board and across our coins, including the memes and some alts, I believe. You have and then Tyler's top 100 as usual. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff to talk about today because, man, it's actually a lot. It's just news on news, a lot of stuff going on. So love to see that in the industry. And then last but not least, we're actually going to pick 2 people today. I know it's Thursday. Tomorrow's a loot boxes with Rollbit, but we're just going to give $200 away. So $100 each. 2 people picking from the spaces. So make sure you're in there. Make sure you're retweeting. Make sure you follow Fomo Hour. Make sure you follow all of us. And as usual, and then we'll just pick 2 people. We won't have to come on stage or whatever, but let's pick 2 lucky people and give you $100 each if you have a Rollbit account. So make sure you also have that sorted. And yeah, oh, look at that. 9 minutes ago, SEC drops investigation to Paxos, decides Bud's not a security. Anyways, so it's good headlines all across the board, even as I'm talking to you also. Anyways, man, why don't we get right into it as we got some CPI numbers and whatnot. Mando, tell me what's going on.
Who is the man, macro daddy of the land? Can you dig it?
Yeah, GM everyone. So the main thing today on macro was that CPI came out, which is the inflation figure that everyone looks at each month, basically, and that came in slightly softer than expected. Inflation looking like it's coming down quicker than people thought it was. This kind of puts the Fed in the position that they probably have to cut rates twice this year. Jerome Powell was kind of saying the same thing yesterday. There is now a 25% chance that they cut rates 3 times this year now. So definitely increasing.
Wow.
As the days gone on there. Stocks had been rallying into this figure. Looks like they are kind of mixed after the figure now. NASDAQ is slightly lower. S&P is slightly higher, but they're all hanging out at all-time highs. Obviously, I think it was 12 straight record highs for the NASDAQ. So it'd been a very, very strong tape going into this exact figure. I think we're seeing this kind of around the world, that inflation's coming down quicker than expected in most places. UK, Europe, US, China, all seeing a slowing inflation or even deflation in China. So this should be supportive for crypto. More money printing, more accommodative monetary policy. Generally, that means Bitcoin higher, everything higher. What we saw is that crypto ripped, and then the Germans decided that they wanted to sell some more. They're now down to their last 500 million, it looks like. But it looks like they're going to try and get out of this, the majority of it this week. You know, it feels like every single day they're selling 300 to $1 billion worth. So they could easily get out of all of it today and tomorrow. So we're approaching the kind of the end, the final stages of that. We've rallied a little bit. ETH has been slightly outperforming. Obviously, we've got the ETF coming next week, so that's going to be a near-term catalyst there. People are getting a little bit more bullish, I think, into that. Solana and Bitcoin slightly underperforming, and most alts continuing to outperform meme coins, except MOG kind of went close to an all-time high again, and things like Popcat again is one of the major memes on Solana. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at in terms of macro and crypto.
Yeah. So what does these numbers mean, Mando? CPI numbers and all that stuff, like, in like NBA terms.
It just means that the Fed's going to cut rates a bit more.
Got it. And we want rate cuts, from what I'm reading on timeline, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants rate cuts in general. That would generally mean that risk assets will go higher, or at least there's more pumping of liquidity into the market.
What does why are rate cuts good for the market?
It's a good question. It's a good question because, to be honest, I don't think many people thought we'd be hitting all-time highs with rates of 5.5%. I don't think rate cuts in of themselves are the most important thing here. It's more money supply and money printing. I think rate cuts sometimes are delayed for that. So we've started to see an increase in money supply again and money printing. That's the real thing to be looking at. Rates themselves, I think, are perhaps not the biggest driver of the market.
It just seems like it's what everybody talks about at all times. And like, I think 99% of us don't really understand the politics behind it or the economics behind it. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not a stupid guy, but I still don't understand what's the difference for my Solana, whether rates are cut or not. You know what I mean?
Well, let's put it this way. If rates are lower, you're able to, for example, buy a house easier. It's less costly to do a bunch of different things, particularly in credit. So if you're going to buy anything on credit or with some form of a loan, it's a much easier. So generally that's seen as, if they go lower, people have more money. You know, like if right now, your mortgage payments might be really high, and if rates go lower, your mortgage payments go down a lot. So that's the main feed through into the economy. But like I said, I personally think the main driver of macro and crypto is more money printing rather than the rates themselves, and that actually can have a slightly different trajectory. Like global money printing has actually gone up even in the period of time where rates have increased, and that's if most people would have said, you know, if rates at 5.5%, you wouldn't have expected an all-time high in gold, in Bitcoin, in stocks. Like that wouldn't have really happened.
Yeah.
Also, like, I mean, typically, right, another factor at play is when rates are high, like they're at 5%, you can get 5% in the savings account. So there's less reason to invest in risk assets where you've got downside. As the rates are cut, you get less, and then you have more incentives to venture out. At least that's how I think about it.
Okay, that makes sense. That's good. I just wanted to ask because like it's like everyone loves to talk about rate cuts, but it's like I don't think most people really understand. And I sometimes I wonder, why does it affect our market so much, or if it does. Like, right, I remember last time Powell spoke and he was like, I'm not cutting rates, and the market dumped. I was like, oh, okay, but now it's like we're talking about 3 rate cuts, but the market's not pumping crazy. It's pumping, but it's not crazy. Yeah. It's like Solana's right back down to 141, ETH is 31.65, it's touching 32, and Bitcoin's back down to 53 after nearing 60K. But obviously that was a lot of sell pressure on the German government side. That like immediately moved like 3,000 Bitcoin the second we got the CPI inflation number. I thought that was funny, Tyler. You pointed that out. But I have the Arkham Intel now like on a tab open at all times, and I love like checking every few hours, like refreshing to see like what they're down to, and it says 580 million. 580 million right now. So the last outflow of Bitcoin though was 5,000 Bitcoin 55 minutes ago. Imagine the guy doing all the transactions, guys, or girl, mind you, but it must be so stressed. Like you're like the person like in charge of what? It was $2 billion book. Was it 2-3 billion originally?
It's 50,000 Bitcoin. So that's over over 3 billion, I think.
Yeah, 50K Bitcoin, let's say, was 57K average. That's kind of been chopping there. Yeah, 280, like around 3 mil. And so you're the person in charge of like every time moving the Bitcoin. Oh, wait, like we just got $100 million refund because our sell orders didn't fucking tell. Let me take it out of the exchange. Oh, but wait, let me move it to this exchange. It would really be a bummer if one of the exchanges they sell on it goes down while they're selling. Imagine like the government Germany was trying to sell Bitcoin during the FTX and the FTX goes under. Oh my god. Anyway, so that continues, but we're almost there. How are we on Mt. Gox? Like, what's the latest on that front? Because that's the other big sell event. Is there any updates?
There was not that much, if I'm honest. They obviously are expected to make those sort of distributions this month, or at least start to. They'd already made some to some local creditors in Japan, it looks like.
Okay.
But
some people saw that.
But they're still waiting for majority of the retail return.
It's the same for FTX, right? I believe some people have started getting paid out.
In FTX?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about
Loomdart tweeted about it. I saw something from Loomdart.
I wouldn't have expected people to get paid out from FTX yet, unless they got their claims bought by somebody.
Yeah, maybe it was maybe because I remember last week that I found the tweet. On June 29th, he said, be retrospected a few days, got a material fuckload of money back from FTX through a claim sale. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So he sold
claims were selling for like what, 1.5x or something?
Well, you're going to get roughly 120 to 130% recovery. So, and a lot of people sold them at a discount. So they sold them at like 80% discount, or even if you sold them at 100%, right? Like you're actually losing money because you're getting back 120% of your money.
And you're getting it at the price of crypto when it went down. So it's not like you're getting much, but you're still getting.
Well, you're getting dollars. You're not getting. This is the main difference between this and Mt. Gox. Mt. Gox, people are getting back Bitcoin and people are scared.
I see.
Whereas FTX, you're getting back dollars and people are expecting them to buy crypto with it.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know. Okay, so we'll see what that. I just like I see, but even the Mt. Gox thing, like I know people get their money back, but I thought we'd see like all these unlocks as like kind of like bullish events with more people like having crypto in their hands or like USD to buy crypto in a market like this. I don't know. That's how I always saw it, but
well, Mt. Gox, they will. To be clear, they'll have Bitcoin back in their wallets. They will sell, so that would normally be considered a bad thing. But the FTX thing, I think, is arguably is much more, and has, in my opinion, a higher chance of people buying crypto with those funds. So
yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. All right, well, look, market wise, we're at 50. What are we? Hold on, let me refresh here because it looks like we're a little lower. Oh, we retraced this morning's pump, so we're about 57.8 on Bitcoin, 31.50 on ETH. So now we're back to 140, and the usual performers have really been the memes. So if I look on the top gainers and losers, it's really been all about that. Do we have any other like numbers coming in soon, Mando? Like, is there the biggest FOMC of the year on the way, or anything else? Or are we like clear of these for now?
tomorrow we have PPI,
Okay.
which is producer price inflation, and then I think we're in for a break. Actually, I don't know if there's an FOMC this month. FOMC.
Oh no, I think it's not this month. It's usually at the end of August, right? It's always like a month that it's off in the summer, right?
No, there is an FOMC. There's
End of
one
July.
more. There's one more at the end of July, and then they're off for the summer.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. It's off in August, so it's July 30, 31st, and then September is the next one. All right, well that's that. And top performers, I mean, here you go. You have it here. So it seems like some altcoins actually were some of the top gainers over the last 24 hours on that front. And the market seems pretty good. So anyways, we'll see where that takes us. Just a reminder, we're going to give $100 to 2 different people. So $200 total. So if you retweet the spaces and you're in here at the end of the show, we'll pick 2 people and then we'll just get this up and rolling. Tyler,
Real quick, before we get into it, while we were talking this, I was just looking at the numbers. I didn't realize the scale of this. Like FTX is returning $15 billion in cash.
Hey,
yeah,
in cash.
That's
It's the biggest airdrop ever.
$2.7 billion.
Yeah.
And the German government's out. They've got 5. So like we're talking about like 3 billion in sell overhang potential pressure here versus $15 billion in cash coming, which is potential buy pressure.
If we see Mt. Gox as sell overhang, why are we seeing FTX as buy overhang?
I think people are. I think people have been more looking to this being one of the main reasons we'll see a strong Q4. Now, I don't know if that date that people are going to get their money back in Q4 is like set in stone. Obviously, with these things like Mt. Gox, people have been hoping to get their money back for years.
Forever, yeah.
So I think it's Q4, but like there's maybe a dose of who the fuck knows there. So maybe that's why we're not like massively rallying on the back of it.
Okay, well, makes sense. Also, like I think people are just actually waiting for it to happen, right? It's like you gotta wait and see what even happens. But anyways, Tyler.
For daily NFT and crypto analysis. Tyler D on Fomo hour cause the kid can't miss.
Ready to patch some barriers. Top story: U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump confirmed to speak at Bitcoin Nashville coming July 25th to 27th. So that just elevated that conference. We saw some movement in the political meme coins off the back of that, as well as some Biden news. We talked about the German government. They moved another 5,000 plus Bitcoin this morning. Their reserves are now down to 20% of where they were at. Solana Finance live in testnet. It has processed its first few blocks. Still a long road ahead, but a promising sign. In other Solana news, $250 million of USDC was minted on Solana yesterday. That comes after $250 million minted on Tuesday. So 2-day total, $500 million in stables minted on Solana there. That was a 25% bump in the total USDC supply. So it's a pretty relatively large. They're moving into 2.35 billion. We saw that CFTC chair say that Bitcoin and ETH are commodities after an Illinois court ruling went down yesterday. So shout out to my home state. Compound Labs had its website exploited early this morning with very few details yet known. So be careful out there interacting with them. Animoca's Mocha token, or Mocha versus Mocha token, rather, that claim went live. It opened at 800 million FTV. Fairly high open there. For an NFT-related token. NFTs on the day chopping. Doodles, clear top mover, up 40% now on the week, back over to ETH. The Blast token also on the move, up 15% ever since Farouk's claim to $1 to 1.78 billion FDV. Now up a solid 25 to 30%.
I did not sell.
Good for you. And then in memes. Celebrities, Iggy Azalea announced another partner, DWF Labs, strategic partner for Mother.
Surprising.
Mother rallying on the news. It's up 30%. And then Little Pump, our new friend, he's now rocking one of those Retardio cousins as his PFP. So he's getting deeper and deeper
right?
into Solana.
It looks like it's got his fucking tattoo on the head.
Is it custom? Like it looks scarily like him, actually.
Yeah. Retarded. That's a great collection of Solana, actually. I don't have any, but I think it's great. Tyler, there's a few things to go over here, including Donnie T going on live on there. Just before that, another topics. I have done all my claims. I mean, all three of them. I figured Mando would love to hear that and would be proud. ZRO, ZK, and Blast. Guess what? Zero and ZK were higher than when people claim. So, that was Zero has been cooking. Not gonna lie. That one came back pretty good. Totally sold them both, but held the Blast, Tyler, because I saw this yesterday. And I was like, it was around here. Like last night, was it July? It was here. Sorry, yesterday. And I was like, oh, this looks bottomed out. I'm not gonna sell it here. So we're gonna hold the Blast airdrop, sell it around 25 cents, hopefully. So that's the goal.
Yeah, I mean, it went low last week. I mean, I didn't see the market cap at low, but it must have been close to like $200 million. And it just, again, comparatively, it just feels so low.
Did it?
Yeah. Let's look at the market cap right now. I think it's only like
it's a 1.7.
Market cap's 300 million. So it was.
FTV though, right?
Yeah. FTV is still 1.8 billion.
1.7 right now, exactly right there. So 17 cents. So. We'll see.
Hey, market cap's still a factor in this, right? Like to a degree. Like I feel like it has to be somewhat.
I'm not selling it until the airdrop is 5 figures, and we're at $8,400 right now. So that's the rule. That's the rule. Okay.
There's a few factors at play here with this. So they just passed the proposal, so you're going to get 2x points for holding Blast. So that's a bullish incentive to hold. And then it seems like that the whales, like they've got a long road ahead to unlock their tokens. So like it's not just a 6-month vest with no requirements. Like you have to hold 70 to 80% of your original balance to vest those tokens. So they're going to have to continue to hold assets on Blast to even get those, and some just may not do that. Yeah. So like we may not see as many tokens. So that's a factor at play as well. The whole Blast board, it is green. So finally some movement in the meme coins over there. Andy up at 5%, Pack up 5%. So it's a slow grind back up, but nice to see some movement.
Yeah. Yeah. What's Pack Moon at right now? That was the
15 million.
15 million. Yeah. It's got a long way to go, but when you have good founders that actually care, like I wouldn't be surprised if one day you get on the show and you're like, oh, it's back up to like where it was. And it's like, oh, well, everyone's going to.
It's an interesting one, right? Like I don't see any Pac-Man content on my timeline anymore. Like I have to say
definitely see much less. Yeah. The whole farming meta that from Portal to today is the landscape has changed a lot.
Yeah. I think people are tired.
I do this daily, you know, like newsletter and for the left curve corner bit of it, it's gotten really sparse recently. Like, as in like the left curve stuff, like the 10x plays. I used to be Blast content or maybe different memes. Mm-hmm. And now it feels like none, I just don't know where you go to make that 10x. Like, and it's just not really there. Like, it's still Solana meme coins, I would say, are the most obvious and consistent play. But that's really it. You know, like there was a little bit of a bounce in NFTs, but it still feels like a long process there. The farming stuff, I think people have generally had had enough of like farming airdrops, right? Like it doesn't feel like people are really farming them like they were in Q1 or even Q2. So now it's like if you're trying to make a 10x, are you really is it just Solana memes or is there anything else you guys have seen?
I don't know. I mean, unless it's benches, but I don't have time for that, sadly.
I agree. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was saying, like, I don't know where either.
I agree with your sentiment. I feel like it's as hard as ever to like get those quick 10x's, which is probably a good thing. I mean, it means it's like we're somewhat of a reset in this market, just because that was just leading to so much mania on a day in, day out basis. I would agree, as pumped up fun is your only shot to do that, but it feels more than ever just total darts. And like, unless you're in like the cabals or the groups who are really pumping these things, it feels so hard to actually catch one that is a winner. And then, I mean, they are happening to a degree, like this Rocky token, it's at 30 million. So it was a 10x. So they're still happening somewhat. A few sectors potential. I mean, Polyfi, maybe, like if we really think we're going to see something happen in the political markets here in the next couple of weeks, like there could be some tokens that move 10x. There's still some pretty low market caps out there for some of the nominee tokens. And then maybe ETH, maybe lower ETH memes headed into potential ETF week. If I'm
honest question, if you're talking 10x, honest question is, if we see mania from last cycle, Doge went to 80 bill, does Pepe pull a 10x to 40 bill?
Maybe it does. It doesn't feel like we're on the cusp of mania, though, does it?
No, it doesn't feel like we're on the cusp of it, but you're saying like, where do you look for the next 10x? Also, what time frame, right? Over a year, 2 years, 2 months, 2 hours. Like, say
people need a new long-term Ponzi. That's basically what I'm saying. Like,
we need a home. We need a Wonderland.
When I'm looking at my newsletter, it's just not much going on. Like, I think that was one of the arguments around Blast is, you know, if Blast fails, what do we all do next? And Blast hasn't exactly worked out well, and there is nothing to do next. I don't think that means people necessarily go back to Blast, but it does feel as though there's a lot of people with a lot of time on their hands working, like wondering what the hell they should do to try and make money apart from being on CT every single day.
Yeah.
It's spot on. I've seen Hyperliquid and Monad as basically people, and Barachain are like the three, but like Barachain like I've got a lot of thoughts. The folks who were farming Barachain were doing it 6 to 12 months ago, and like they're already so far ahead of you that like it feels so hard to enter that game now. Monad, I still don't know what it is or how to farm it. And Hyperliquid is just you get points for trading tokens on there.
Yeah, it's
one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I look at this. I mean, you were talking about the Polyfi stuff. I mean, I don't have any of this. Never did actually, but this looks good to me. Like the guy speaking, and we can segue into that, right? Guy speaking at Bitcoin Conf, which by the way didn't really move the market. But point being, he's speaking there regardless. Shout out to David Bailey and Bitcoin Magazine. They were on last year with Udi. It was funny. But you have this. Like this stuff doesn't look bad to me. Like I don't know. What do you guys think?
Maybe that stuff. It does. I would say that honestly, I think a lot of people like the one thing that continues to see massive volumes other than Solana meme coins is prediction markets, which means we've essentially gone from gambling on tokens to just straight up gambling, but using our tokens to gamble, which I think is pretty funny. Like that's the only other thing I think people are looking at and being like that I can make a 5x in, which is essentially just being at the casino.
Look at that. England, not a bad return. Not a bad return here. Is it coming home?
Maybe. We played, that was our best game.
Dude, I have to give it to y'all. That was beautiful. That was England playing finally.
Yeah.
Finally. Like it's just like France did the same fucking shit. Pragmatic, defensive bullshit. They didn't work out. Yeah, England yesterday showed up to score goals. That was nice to watch. I watched the whole thing. That was fun. That was a good one. I kind of have to root for England now because of you guys. And like half of my team is like from England. Like the team chat is like a bunch of fucking like hooligans. Like
I didn't realize until yesterday.
Did you realize like Charlie, Tabs, Sims, fucking like even Nick is for England. Like that fucking like 6 Ben, even Evans cheering and like 7, 8 Rugwedo team members, core team members, all rooting for England team chat, man. Though I'm like, dude, I already can't stand the English team, and now I have to stand my own team being for them. It's like, dude, goddamn. Anyways, I hope
I want to be clear that Spain is the right bet to make headed into this final, but I'll be.
No, you see,
stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop.
Yesterday we had town hall that started right during the match, and I let the entire Rugwedo team off the hook because we wanted to just talk locks and I could see the relief in the half of the team's eyes saying like, "Fuck yeah, thank you." Thank you, Farouk. But they were all on. They all showed up though. But Sims was in the studio. Sims stuck to the studio. So I gotta respect that. But that was nice. That second goal was wild. That was some wild scenes. Let's see what happens on Sunday. You know what was fun last night? Copa America. Colombia, Uruguay was crazy. Like
I heard it was wild.
Dude. The Latin Americans don't give a shit. Like they'll like punch each other in the throat and like keep going. Like oh my god, next level football. But anyways, that what I want to segue to with the Polyfi conversation is Trump, Tyler. So Donnie T, the rumors are real. Speaking of Bitcoin conference, tell me more about that.
Yeah, he's going to Nashville. We don't have that much of the actual details yet, but he's going to be a speaker. I think it just totally elevates the conference up a level from where it was. And I saw like folks like Udi commenting on this. Like there is a presidential candidate here who is in the lead, who has an ordinals collection and is speaking at a Bitcoin conference. And this is the stuff that they like dreamed about and joked about like 5 to 10 years ago. And it's actually happening, which is pretty wild if you kind of step back and think about it like that.
It is wild. I mean, he is right. You need to, Udi says, you need to slap yourself sometimes to stop your mind from going numb. U.S. president to speak at Bitcoin conference also has an ordinals collection. I'm pretty sure he has more than one. Multiple ETH collections for sure. 10 years ago, we used to joke about this happening in the future, but it was a joke. Slap yourself. But see, on the flip side of that, so now let's do the other side. I'm curious to what you think. Iceberg and a few other, OGCT members were saying, G said something positive. BTC in 2019 went up 16% in an hour. Now, presidential candidates speaking at Bitcoin conference can't even move the price by half a point.
Yeah, I've got a response to that.
What is
the move's been telegraphed for one. So I mean, Trump has been bull Bitcoin for a while. Like there's rumors that he's thinking about using Bitcoin as a strategic asset for the US. We just had the GOP policy come out, 2-3 days ago with a pro crypto stance. So I feel like perhaps the Zai comments in 2019, and I don't remember those, I wasn't around. I feel like those are probably a larger surprise. Like this isn't with like where we were at in this cycle in July 2024, like Trump speaking at this Bitcoin conference is not a surprise to me. Like it felt like a 50-50 outcome, really. So I guess to me, that's why I'm not like super worried it didn't move markets. But
Yeah.
Curious what you guys think.
Yeah. And what do you think, Mando? I didn't really expect it to move market that much, but what do you think, Mando?
This feels like an incremental piece of news, which is basically what Tyler's saying. Like this is on the back of just like tons and tons of pro Bitcoin stuff from Trump. So I don't think this is as big a deal as Chi saying that he would do that. I think this is super bullish though. Like it's very, very tough to imagine a bear market in this current setup. Like if Trump comes to office, we've probably got a Solana ETF coming, and we've probably got even more strengthening of Bitcoin as an accepted and perhaps even promoted asset. So I think that's going to be very bullish.
I think so as well. I agree with the both of you. Also, like market dynamics are different in 2019. I mean, I don't know what volumes look like then, but are we still comparing Bitcoin 5 years ago to Bitcoin today? Like I just feel like it's not the best comparison to make. Not that he's wrong per se. It's not like, yeah, maybe we could have moved a little more, but it's tons of sell pressure out there too. So I don't know. It's I heard Hunter Biden speaking at the Solana conference.
Oh God, too soon.
Biden speaking at Breakpoint. You'll have a tough time having fun in Singapore, though.
Man, if you're a Bitcoin team, like get your events out there. Like let's.
So you going, Tyler? You going?
I booked my flight last night. I will be there at least Thursday to Saturday.
Okay, you'll be there. Mando, are you gonna go see Donnie T?
Yeah, why not? Fly
You're
over.
in Nashville?
No chance.
Dude, Nashville's the city I've always wanted to go to. It's a fun place. You may even run into the Hawk Tuah girl.
So I will be decked in Hawk Tuah gear, head to toe. It is the Vegas of the Midwest. Is kind of how
I heard it's fucking awesome. I heard it's awesome from the music perspective, the liveliness. Like I've only heard amazing thing. You know what else in Nashville? Jack Butcher. Another reason to go. No, but he is actually. I think he's doing a thing. I think a lot of people are going to go there. I mean, I'm excited to see the videos of Tyler decked out in Hawk Tuah merch, interviewing Donald Trump. You know, that would be a lot of fun. You bet your ass I'm already trying to make something happen, but we'll see. But you know, I think it's a really big news that he's speaking there. I think it's really cool to see it, no matter the thoughts on it. Like the someone who could potentially be the next presidential candidate. A presidential candidate, but the next president again, speaking at the Bitcoin conference. I think it's significant enough news and a big signal for cryptocurrency as a whole. But it only makes sense, right? And you guys are right. It was probably priced in because the GOP thing came out. We talked about it 2 days ago, where it was literally part of their mission, right? To make the right to like self-custody and etc. So it's in there. It's like part of the campaign. So it only makes sense that they go to the biggest conference relative to Bitcoin in the world, which is Bitcoin, like BTC Nashville, right? Which is BTC Miami past, but so it only makes sense. Okay, so that's
quickly before we pivot, the other political news yesterday is like more celebs, more politicians are turning on Biden. So Pelosi gave some basically soft doubt, like not really backing Biden, and some off the cuff comments.
What's her Polymarket account? What is Nancy Pelosi's Polymarket?
They're also raising the bill to ban sitting politicians from trading stocks. So we'll have to watch out for her to exit her portfolio. The Pelosi trackers out there. I think the Pelosi tracker portfolio was up massive. I think
so. Pelosi, Pelosi and Clooney, right? George Clooney.
Yeah,
also,
Pelosi and Clooney.
Clooney's like one of the biggest donors. What's the latest there?
He hosted the fundraiser, I believe, or he was at least in attendance. The one where Biden and all the clips went viral of him freezing on stage. And now he's coming out a few weeks later and saying, yes, like the Biden we saw at the debate in those clips, that is the real Biden. It's not like fake clips or just bad cuts of him. Like that is his current state. It's interesting. Like like, why didn't Clooney say that 3 weeks ago when this came out? It's like that's part of like the tinfoil hat theory. Like everyone, all the Dems are now rallying against him, but it is impacting the market. So Kamala is shot up in the Democratic nominee race now on Polymarket, I guess, in the odds. So she's back over, I think, like 40%.
What a roller coaster of emotions. Did you guys see the Shkreli GCR stuff yesterday?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So out of all that, there's something I think nobody picked up on. So I paused at like the video multiple times to see what GCR was telling Shkreli. Did you guys see the last bit of it?
No.
Did you guys pick up on this? So if you go to the video he posted, right, the very end, GCR goes, you know who that the actual Democrat is that could beat Trump? Roy Cooper.
Okay.
I don't even know who that is.
But then I went on Polymarket and I realized that he's like the third in line on the Democratic. Yeah. Because I was like, well, is that going to move the poly markets? Because, GCR has the power to probably move poly markets, right? So I went on here.
The issue is about getting in someone who's like a respected politician.
Whoa, okay, he jumped. He was less than, dude, this guy was on like a couple points. And then that thing came out and people started picking up on the GCR. Look at this. It says 60% second.
It's VP though, right?
Yeah.
This is VP odds, not.
Okay. Well, it's the only odds where he's on. I mean, I don't see him in anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think the issue about this is if they're going to get rid of Biden, it's about the funds, right? The funds have to then go to Kamala. And if not, then it's going to have to be like a billionaire who comes in and self-funds. So they've been talking about people like Jamie Dimon, Bloomberg, these sort of like billionaires who've made runs or like talked about running before, having to come in and like self-fund the whole of their campaign. So that's kind of the move. I think it's difficult to replace Biden with another politician that's not Kamala.
Yeah. I mean, what can be unburdened by what has been. I practiced. Anyways, Tyler, you love that one now, don't you?
Yes, it is. It's quite catchy. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, you love that one, don't you? I was showing my mom the other day. She was laughing. We were talking about this. I was showing the video, and it's funny because in France, Bardella, which was the far right guy, that was supposed to win, then they got rugged on the last second on the other day. He has his own thing that he repeats every time as well. So there was the same video circulating in France of him with the same thing, but for him is I'm hungry. So the guy's always hungry. So everywhere he goes, oh wow, in français, fond, il y a de la nourriture, whatever. There is food here. Oh, j'ai faim. And everywhere, and there's like a multiple videos of him just saying, oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, like everywhere he goes. I thought it was hilarious. Anyways, in other news, Tyler, there was something else I wanted to pick up on from the things that you were sharing. There was Trump, there's Blast.
We had the Mocha token. We had Fire Dancer.
Mocha opening big, but we'll see what that happens. Just an airdrop, right? I thought the NFC's kind of dumped yesterday ahead of that, but that's normal behavior. Open at 800 mil. We'll see where that goes. There was, I thought one thing to shout out the certificate. I mean, you posted it, so I may as well go speak on that. I thought that was really cool. Certificate of ownership of shares on the Rec Brands side, Mando. I saw OV retweet a bunch from yesterday, so that was really cool. So if you participated in that, I guess check your wallets, right? You got a cool certificate of ownership in the Rec Brands. But there's something that you mentioned. Forgot if it was it
the Commodities?
Was it Commodities? Where's Commodity? Oh yeah, the commodity stuff. Yeah. So wasn't that like I posted the video yesterday, and a lot of people seem to say like, oh, it's happened multiple times, but like,
yeah, I don't think that's new news necessarily.
Is it?
Because he's mentioned that ETH and Bitcoin are both commodities, and that's 70 to 80% of the market, roughly. I think ETH is like 17% market dominance, or 18%, and then Bitcoin's 55%. So it's about that.
I don't know. How did you get? What was your read on that, Tyler? Maybe it was like
the news was this ruling in this Illinois court case where the judge ruled that Bitcoin and ETH and I think other tokens are commodities. And then the CFTC chair just basically said that happened. I think in this speech he was giving. So agree with me. No, not necessarily like wholesale news, and not surprising that the head of the Commodities Commission, wants to take ownership of these assets. I think we've just kind of seen this coming. The other part of this is that it's not even, I was reading like the Decrypt article actually had a good write-up on this. It's not, this ruling in Illinois isn't even binding in the state of Illinois, let alone the rest of the country. So like this is not like cemented.
Is Decrypt funding right now?
they're giving an objective, level-headed take of
okay. I guess that's okay. Fine. Bullish Decrypt doing that then. Bullish Decrypt doing that. This is article, right? CFTC chairman says Bitcoin, Ethereum, our commodities case closed. He reaffirmed it, but it's not, binding. So that's actually what it is, right? A recent federal court decision reaffirmed the status on top of the top 2 cryptocurrencies, but it's not a binding precedent. Andre, we'll have to talk about this after. I'm just kidding. But no, you're right. It's good. But look, narratives. I'm a big narratives guy.
Me too.
Big narratives guy. Okay. And that narrative drives price. Anyway, so that was that. And then the other thing, and the last time was really fire dancers. So we got more news again on fire dancers because we covered that the test. There was the first.
We covered it yesterday. I think we covered it.
We covered that yesterday, right? Was there something other than that?
No.
Okay.
No, that was it. And I took the opportunity yesterday just to explain what it is. It's on my Twitter page because I feel like it's one of those things. Just earlier in the show, like you took a few seconds for us to talk about like rate cuts and why that matters. I feel like everyone is talking about fire dancer, and I feel like huge swaths of CT probably don't know like what it is.
Why don't you just explain it? That way we'll clip it in the back end. Why don't you explain to the world why fire dancer is super bullish Solana?
Yeah, so Fire Dancer is validator client software used to run nodes and power the Solana blockchain. Its hallmark is high performance. It leverages sharding to enable max transactions per second up to 1 million. And it's developed by Jump Crypto. It uses C++. So foundationally, validators are critical for processing blocks on the blockchain. That's how blockchains work. And now Solana node operators have a shiny new software option to choose from. So why it matters, a couple core reasons. So one, speed and power. So this is orders of magnitude upgrade over the current TPS on Solana and other chains. So currently, I want to say Solana is at like 5,000 TPS Visa's network. So if you compare it to other global payment processors, Visa is at 65,000. And Binance is going to be 1 million. And then if you compare it to Ethereum is 22 TPS. So that gives you a sense of the scale. Then there's the decentralization component. So the more software validator options that node operators can choose from, the better. It lowers the impact if there are bugs or attacks because there will be backup options that you can revert to. And then it also just adds additional programming languages. So some devs like C++, over Rust, they now have that option to choose from. So that's a quick overview of why it matters. I think the whole decentralization factor can be debated. I think Bread Guy did a post yesterday saying that basically if this new client is that much better, won't everyone just flock? That's a longer argument. But like the pure raw speed here, I mean, it's an orders of magnitude upgrade. And see Solana being these global payment processors, and that's a big part of what Solana seems to be like working towards. I mean, if it's faster than Visa, that does give it a leg to stand on.
Yeah, no, 100%. That was one of the main reasons why we aped in Q4 last year. I mean, Mando used to talk about Fire Dancer nonstop. I was like, I bet. Remember? Like, oh, this Fire Dancer thing is going to be the narrative. It's going to be so good. I was like, fuck it, let's go. Age well. But, so that was, I'm excited to see it come to fruition here. And so I thought also like, and to close off on that, I mean, while everybody's getting mugged in Brussels, I thought AJ from Arbitrum, Off-Chain Labs, some good thoughts about what he kind of put like the feeling at ETHcc. You've seen a lot of like empty rooms at ETHcc, but also heard about a lot of the other stuff. But he wrote something about like what's actually going down, what went down. He wrote Brussels was my favorite city, but it wasn't. It was nice. Everything was walkable and the beer was good. Damn right, the beer is good over there. But he goes, but something they pointed out is something we talk about a lot. Still not enough apps. I probably heard 10x the number of interoperability cross-chain proving ideas compared to novel user applications. Normal business models are still considered inappropriate, which leads to unnecessarily complicated architecture. A lot of L2 chain launch fatigue, but the interesting opportunities remain on teams that want to do something novel, not a branded plain vanilla chain. Not enough people are aware of the power of Arbitrum Stylus. Community acquisition is becoming harder and harder to fake via incentives. The sophistication of the Arbitrum DAO has grown 10x in a year. I remember the failed Camel proposal a year ago, and it's awesome to see structure is being created. So I don't know. We've been kind of like covering ish what's going on in Brussels. That was the latest thing I saw today, but I didn't see that much come out of ETHcc. Like, I feel like the other summers, I always like saw some like, you know what I mean?
Well, this time last year, we were
Bear market.
Yeah, but where were we in terms of the burn? I guess like we still had some updates to come. I don't really know what the next upgrade for ETH is going to be. Like we hadn't done the recent upgrades with the L2s, like that hadn't happened. That's what a lot of people were talking about, that L2s were going to be the trade. Now, like I saw Vitalik gave a speech about the future, but it was largely focused on things like staking and security attacks, like really focused on the resilience of ETH as base layer from a security standpoint. There's not a lot of focus on like how do we get ETH to the same TPS as Solana.
Yeah,
I think that's interesting. That's what I came away from it thinking. The focus seems to be on resilience.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't see. I thought I'd see a lot more. I mean. But not much. I guess, we're really lining up for token, I guess, for when it's probably going to be in a better market environment. Token 2049, and maybe we're going to see more there. But I don't know. I just thought it was kind of not being there was kind of underwhelming. I saw more tweets about or shit posts about the mugging than like.
I saw that Luca Netz had his passport stolen.
Dude, Luca Netz had his passport stolen inside of his own bedroom.
Stuck there till Monday.
Kind of wild.
Like that's the first thing. This is the first tweet I saw when I woke up this morning, Mando. Actually, it's funny you bring it up. Someone stole my passport from my hotel room. U.S. Embassy says I won't get my passport until Monday. I'm officially a Brussels community member. It's funny, but it's wild. And he's saying that's hilarious.
That's a great post.
That's a great post. But dude, I didn't know. I've never been to Belgium. Man, have you been to Belgium? I didn't know it was like that.
Well, we did it yesterday, right? We did the crime statistics. I think
I know, but I'm so surprised. Like, you don't
I
get
spoke to someone this morning about it. Who's there? Because I had a call with somebody.
No, this comment is crazy. Okay, that's a type.
Yeah, they said it was bad in the center of
Really? Okay.
in the center of Brussels, particularly very bad.
They probably also know there's like a massive conference of a bunch of rich crypto folk or imaginary rich crypto folk, and they probably target that even more, right?
Yeah, but I think it's like it's a city issue. It's not just a conference issue. I think that Paris, a few of the German cities there, they got a lot of issues.
I know, but like NFT Paris and Paris Blockchain Week, I didn't hear anybody get mugged. Though Paris is not the safest city anymore. And
Paris, I think, is really dangerous recently. Like when I
agree with you.
Is like
Gare du Nord, yeah. I agree with you, but I don't know. Like my girlfriend was Gare du Nord last time. She got out here on her own. I walked around Paris solo. A bunch of people multiple times were good. And then ETHcc, we see like 20 posts of people getting their shit stolen.
Yeah.
Hey Luca, maybe put your passport in the safe next time. God damn it. Oh my god. Anyways, it's pretty wild to see all that. So that's about that. That's about a wrap. Let's see. How are we picking the two winners today, Sims? Am I just putting a Twitter?
Just
picker?
grab them off your phone. Someone says stop and just pick two winners. I'll DM them both.
And those seconds. So just but it's not scrolling more than this. It's like bugging. It's not showing anyone.
Fantastic.
It shows N278 others.
Can you do it on your other phone?
I'm like getting. By the way, because of this tactics thing on Fantasy Top, I guess I'm getting botted like fucking crazy lately.
Everyone is.
Oh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying.
What's tactics?
It's their daily tournament. So Fantasy Top has two tournament styles. One that lasts like 3 days, and then they've got ones that you can enter daily. So now, every single day, folks are just getting botted.
Dude, I'm getting botted like never before. It's insane. Like, it's actually so annoying. I'm just gonna do a Twitter picker and just make two people that actually follow all of us. That way, it's even harder for bots. But it's crazy. Like every post of mine, you'll you'll notice a lot of them that the engagement just doesn't make sense. I guess thank you, but no thank you. Like, I'm not really down for the fake engagement. Let me make it let me make it that they follow everyone. Meanwhile, Mando, someone was asking in the comments how to claim their certificate.
Just follow the tweets from OSF.
Okay.
It's best. There's like you have to actually claim it.
Okay, perfect. So there's a claim for it, and then Tyler_did.
As in the art piece is a claim.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I can't add Tyler here because it adds 3 and it thinks I'm adding 5. So yeah. Okay, so
No
okay,
worries.
it worked. It worked. All right, let's pick 2 winners here that follow absolutely all of us. That would makes it harder for the boss because it seems like we even got the spaces bonded today. There you go. Oh, well, look at that. I suck at this. There you go. Red guy that actually listens to the show every day. I know him very well. He replies to my shit. Love it. So I suck at this. Grab a chair. You won $100 and Doodle Pie, Smurf Candy 5. So congratulations, you two. You win. You each win $100 each. Make sure you have a Rollbit account. Shout out to Rollbit for allowing us to do all this stuff every week and giving us a bunch of money to give you guys back. And you guys both with $100. And with that, we'll see you tomorrow morning, Friday, baby, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of FOMO Hour on Rug Radio. Let's go.